Welcome to the Work Hard, Play Hard podcast. My name is Rob Murgatroyd, and I am a former doctor turned lifestyle entrepreneur. Each week, I interview some of the best minds on the planet on the science of achievement and the art of fulfillment. Today's episode is a mini-sode that we call Fri-Date with the Wife. In these mini-sodes, my wife Kim and I deconstruct the strategies that we've developed over the last decade to not only grow personally, but to turn our struggles into lessons and create fulfillment in all areas of our lives. Excuses are over. It's time to live. Let's dig into today's topic. Okay, before we get into this episode of Fri-Date, I want to remind you that my 2019 mastermind is filling up quickly in terms of the applications rolling in. Now, I've not started my pre-qualification phone calls yet, but remember, this is on a first come, first served basis for at least getting your applications in line. I go through them all. I look for the best fit, and then I set up a phone call to see if it's a great fit between you, me, and our existing group. So, if you are at all interested, go to workhardplayhardpodcast.com/mastermind. So the mastermind is the fastest way I know of to 10x your business, up-level your tribe, and get a clear path to grow your business and your relationship to the next level. It's like a significant shortcut for you. So look at it this way. What if by this time next year, your profits 10x and you spent less time working and had more time with your family and your friends doing the things that light you up? And what if you did it with the highest level entrepreneurs on the planet? And what if you learned all of this while you were experiencing some of the most amazing adventures, places, and cities in the world? Stop the what ifs and make a decision to make this happen. So go to workhardplayhardpodcast.com/mastermind and fill out the application. In the mastermind, I'll put you into a group of high-level achievers where everyone is at your level or higher, and you'll be in 3 different masterminds throughout the year, going to 3 different locations and being a part of what I call an experiential learning environment. I learn best by doing cool things with cool people and not in the back of a Holiday Inn conference room. So I redesigned the entire mastermind concept and made it fully immersive experiences. I made the long conference room tables disappear, the one with the mints and the water. It's all gone. So who's it for? Any upper 6-figure earner that is at $300,000 or above, or those that have just barely squeaked over their first million and are looking to learn how to get past the multiple 7-figure range year after year. So even if you're just curious, go to workhardplayhardpodcast.com/mastermind and click apply. Do not let this negative self-chatter get in the way. We all have it, by the way. Power through it. Power through it. You can do it. All right, let's get on with the episode. Well, Kimberly Sassy Murgatroyd, how are you today?
Sassy pants.
Yeah, you're a little bit on the sassy side. Have you noticed?
I think sassy might be another word for bitchy, but that's okay.
Oh, she went there. How are you, my love?
Apparently bitchy.
Jesus Christ. See how we're ending the new year? This is how we're ending. This is welcome to Reelsville in our world.
Oh boy, it's been a crazy couple of weeks.
Yeah, why?
Well, kind of what we're about to talk about.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do something that I rarely do.
What's that?
I'm going to relinquish control.
No, he's not. Watch how this interrupts very quickly.
I'm going to relinquish control, and here's what I'm going to do. I don't think that you get your just dessert. Is that how you say it? I don't think that you get your just dessert or your just deserve. What is it? You know what I mean? To be able to just communicate in the way that you want it freely. So I think
without interruption.
Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give it over to you, and I'm going to say, you know what, honey, take it over. Just go. Go.
All right. So here's what I want to talk about.
Well, I'm just fucking with you. Go ahead.
That is my life, by the way, every freaking day. Okay, so what I want to talk about today is kind of what's been going through our life for the last, 15 years and just got tied in a bow. So as many of you know, we missed an episode last week and we were knee deep in the sale of our primary business, Rob's medical clinic.
Well, we didn't miss the episode. I secretly hoped that nobody noticed that I shoved a special mini-sode for January in there.
You tried to spin it, but it didn't work out because I got enough emails and messages about it.
It didn't spin.
But what I love is that people love our podcast enough to actually reach out and ask where it is. But we were knee deep in doing a massive transition in our life. And so what I thought would be a really good episode to talk about today is the other day at dinner, Rob and I were kind of talking about the last 15 years and what it's looked like. And as long as I have been in this man's life, he has wanted to exit his business, his brick and mortar medical clinic. He's a chiropractor by trade and has had a clinic for 25 years, and he's wanted to exit. And that's all I've heard about. And in 2006, 2005, whatever it was, we read 4 Hour Workweek, created a company called Jetset Life, and we just knew that was going to be our exit strategy, right? We're producing our own videos, like travel videos, which right now doesn't probably sound very unique.
But you know what's cool about that? I got interviewed yesterday. He said, do you know that you have 2.5 million views on your travel videos? And I was like, no, I don't.
I do. It's like 2.6 million or something. So basically, if you don't know this about our little history, we created a website back in the day called Jetset Life. And it's when video podcasting first came out on iTunes. And we traveled a lot. And we decided we were going to shoot some travel videos. And then we created guidebooks for it. And let me tell you how much can change in like a decade. When we created these guidebooks, they were digital guidebooks. This is before apps. This is before everybody had a video device on their phone that didn't exist. I was carrying around camera equipment, mics, big cameras, all of the stuff in my purse, literally in my purse whenever we traveled, because we tried to make it kind of raw and real. This was again 2006 or something like that when we started. And when we started selling these guidebooks, people would purchase the guidebook and it was a digital guide, and that wasn't very common at the time. And we'd get emails, when do I get the hard copy? I want the hard copy. And now no one wants a hard copy of anything, but it went literally from give me a hard copy to apps. And so even though we have all of these millions of YouTube views and we created we had a podcast called Jetset Insider, we had all of these things going, it really wasn't super successful financially, not enough to allow Rob to exit his first, career as a chiropractor. So we were still working the day job, so to speak. And what I wanted to talk about today, the overall thing on this episode is know what you want ultimately in your life, but don't get attached to the journey you take to get there. It was so funny because Rob did a reading with a woman named Shar Margolis. She's on Larry King. She's a medium. We were in our computer room. Rob was recording it, and all he wanted to know is his 10 offices in 10 years plan going to come to fruition? He had the vision board. He literally scrapbooked it. I'm going to find that scrapbook, by the way.
I know. It'd be so amazing to find that.
And
it was red.
It was red. That's right. And it was crazy.
And we actually went to scrapbook, like a scrapbook store, because I remember there were buttons.
Yeah. Yes. Oh my God. We got
buttons that you have if you did something in kindergarten.
Yes,
do you know what I mean?
Have to find the scrapbook. But he was so tied to the journey. I remember Shar, the medium, saying to him, "Oh, you're so creative. You're going to do something with music or interviewing." And he was like, no. He wasn't even open to hearing another idea. And he's like, "I don't even know what she's talking about right now. This is crazy." And she goes through this whole thing. And thankfully he recorded it so we could listen back to it. But she went through all of this stuff with him. And she was dead on about so many things, but he wasn't open to hearing it. And at the end, she said, "Do you have any questions for me?" And he goes, "Yes, actually I do. Am I going to open my 10 offices in 10 years by the time I'm 50 years old and move to California and live on the income?" And she paused for a second and she said, "Here's what I can tell you. you will eventually sell your clinic. You will move to California. It's going to be later than you think, and it's not going to be in the way that you think it's going to happen. And I remember her saying that, and I remember how infuriated he was. That
I felt
he
like
didn't
I
get what he
wanted the refund from the psychic. I'm like, listen, I know you're a big deal, and I know you're on all the celebrities, TV shows and stuff like that.
And I know you're right about everything else in my life.
But I have a plan, and the plan that I have does not include you not knowing my plan.
And stop telling me I'm creative, because I'm not.
Yeah,
That's literally what he was saying.
So, now look, here we are, right? In this moment, do you want to catch them up to date so that they understand the lens in which to look through this conversation
so that was probably like 2005, let's call it, when we had that. I like to call it Char Tales, because her name is Char and she tells you tales. So when we had Char Tales, it was probably 2005. And then shortly after that, we began Jetset Life. And I had Sophia, and we had that stupid idea time. What are we going to do? How are we going to replace our income so we can live this passionate, freedom-filled lifestyle that we've been craving, this move to California thing? And that stupid idea time, many of you know this because I've talked about it before on here, led us to our network marketing business. And
let me interrupt you when I told you I wasn't going to interrupt you. So here's one of the things that I think that people should consider, because you're kind of taking me back to that time where I was like, no, I don't want to do any of this network marketing stuff. And, obviously we jumped all in. Within a pretty short period of time, we were doing multiple six figures, still are, and growing. But here's the thing that I am finding most interesting about this. The new tribe that I'm hanging with and you're hanging with, many of those people are people that started in network marketing and kept that 6 and 7 figure business and are also working on other things. So in other words, they used it as the platform. And now that I'm sitting here thinking about this, I'm realizing that we did the same thing.
Yeah.
We use network marketing to exit one business, keep the income coming in while we're building an additional business that we're super passionate about. And so in our case, we sort of bifurcated in as far as you took over the network marketing because you have a giant passion, a giant love for it, growing the teams, et cetera.
Who would ever thunk that?
And who would have ever thought that? And I moved on into something that I'm super passionate about, which is the podcast and now ultimately the mastermind and things like that. But
the platform was making that decision with network marketing, but also, again...
In fact, if you think about it, what you're about to say is that we signed the contract and sold the clinic yesterday.
Yeah.
And that could not have been done if we didn't have... It just hit me. We could not have agreed to sign the contract for the sale of the practice yesterday if we didn't have the network marketing income coming in to float us.
Yes. So now here, and this is why we couldn't record an episode last week. So I apologize, but we were busy getting the sale of our clinic. So 2 weeks ago, Rob and I sat down and I said, you know what? I don't think we should take the clinic into 2019. What if we make enough money now in network marketing and you've got this big mastermind coming up and it's all 60% full and you're going to be busy and there's a lot of travel? What if we either sold or closed the clinic? What if? And we played stupid idea time and we wrote down every option we could and we taped those options to our refrigerator, option 1, 2, 3, 4. And we literally taped them there and looked at them and created strategies around them. And within 2 weeks, we found a deal. It's not the deal of the century, but it's a deal that's getting us out of where we don't want to be, which is managing and running a clinic, and moving us full-time into our passions. So in 6 months, we're going to be taking 4 months and living in Europe. That's a whole nother conversation for another day. But we are. And then we're moving to California. And we're moving to California, living our passion with complete freedom with residual income, which is what Rob wanted back 15 years ago. That was the goal 15 years ago, was residual income, California, freedom, passion. And that is exactly what we're getting. But the journey has changed so many times. And we would not be where we are today. We would not have the circle of friends we have today without chiropractic. what I really want to get across is whatever your vision is, when I do calls with people and I talk to them about doing our business, my first question is, grab your magic wand, paint me the vision of what you want for your life. And they start typically telling me what they want for their business. And I'm like, no. What do you want for your life? What do you want your life to look like? If you had $1 gazillion in the bank tomorrow, what do you want your life to look like? That is the end result. That is the end goal. That is the vision. The journey of how you get there is not, quite frankly, up to you. You take the next step and you're going to have to pivot. Like we had to pivot 3 different companies before we hit that vision. But now your goal, Rob, was 50 years old and living in California. And you're going to be 52 living in California.
Well, actually, if you think about that book that you talked about, that book said we live 6 months of the year in California and 6 months of the year in Italy.
True.
And we're on our way to living 4 months in Italy.
The book didn't account for Sophia. So.
It didn't account for the baby. So a couple of things are coming up for me that I think are interesting and I want to share before we wrap this. The first thing is that when I spoke to my friend Darren about this, I said, he said, dude, I'm so freaking excited for you, because he sold a clinic as well many years ago.
He sold many clinics.
He
actually did the thing that you wanted to do.
Yeah, he sold many clinics, but there was always one clinic that,
was lingering.
And it was quote unquote impeding his growth in other areas. But once he got rid of that clinic, he exploded, and now he's got a $60 million company, and et cetera, et cetera. But what he said to me yesterday was, he said, how do you feel? He goes, dude, I am giddy with excitement for you. And I can't get him on the phone. But he's calling me because he knows, what a big deal this is. And I was like, there was a minute where I was like, I think you're happier than I am about this.
He will never have to hear this drama again.
Maybe he's just happy. Me not bitch. Me, right, exactly. You don't have to hear again. But I think the thing that really struck me that, if I'm completely honest with you,
I'm not would like you to be.
Yeah, I'm not quite in touch with this feeling yet, but I intuitively know he's right. And that is that this is going to create, by burning these boats, i.e. the clinic, it's going to allow me to go into this next venture it's going to allow me to go into this next venture with more bandwidth, more intention, and more focus. So he said, you may not feel like you got this incredible buyout for your clinic, but you have no idea how much money you're about to make.
You just bought your bandwidth.
You bought your bandwidth. And he said, this is going to allow you to do so much more. So the jury's still out on that right now, but there's a piece of me that is like, you know what, man, I think he's right.
Okay. So I hope that that little story, that little trip down memory lane, maybe helps some of you. And I know burning the boats is something that Rob did a post about and got a lot of interaction. And there's a lot of people sitting in that place of doing something they don't want to do for the money, so they can then do something that they're passionate about. And I just want you, maybe in 2019, to be open to other ideas, other opportunities that may come your way. And I think that's really important because, like for us, like he said, we never intended to be in network marketing. We actually avoided it for like 3 years while all of our friends were doing it. And it ended up being the platform that allowed us the freedom, the residual income, and what we needed. So Rob could do his passion project. And I fell in love with the business and how I can help people create their dream life and duplicate what we just did. So I just want to throw this out there. I don't typically plug, my business, but if anyone is open to a conversation about what life could look like with you, for you, what you would want in life, end goal, and reverse engineering that possibly with network marketing, I'm building my class of 2019 that I'm going to be working with. These are the 5 to 6 people that are going to be by my side and growing big businesses in 2019. So if you're interested in that, hit me up on either Instagram or on my website, KimberlyMurgatroyd.com, and I would love to connect with you and see if it's a fit.
Well, that's it. So there's a little bit of a different show today. It was kind of like just an honest conversation in the moment about what it is that we're going through. And we hope that this added some value in your life. Have a great week, everybody. All right. Thanks for listening. If you love this episode and you know someone that needs some help in either stepping up their work hard game or their play hard game, it would mean the world to me if you shared this podcast with them to help me get this movement out there. So if you like what you heard, head on over to iTunes, take 30 seconds and leave me a 5-star review, and I will be forever grateful. So until the next episode, excuses are over. It's time to live.